What's going on, guys? Brandon here. Subscription stock video. Don't know a number. Don't know when these books came out. And I have a lot of them, so I'm just going to jump right into it. I think I got about 10 books this week. Most of them were solid. There wasn't a bad book in the bunch. As always, ordered from least favorite to most favorite. Get started with Wolverine Max number 1. Now, when you hear Wolverine and Max, you think it's a perfect union. You think it's going to be the greatest book ever, because that's the type of brutality that Wolverine kind of is. And this book has a lot of promise. A lot of good things can happen in this book if it doesn't stick to the story that it's at now. It's pretty much the same thing that's happened in the actual Wolverine book, the ongoing now, and the not the Max, where he doesn't know who he is. He forgot him. You don't know. He's trying to learn his past again. Basically, the generic Wolverine story. Although it's because he had a plane crash and he doesn't know who he is after the plane crash. It's a different basis, same story. Didn't like the artwork in here a lot, although I think that I could get used to it. So, I'm not going to drop it, but it's not very good. Now, Wolverine. As I said, once again, here's another Wolverine book. And this book always seems to be kind of down here in the least favorite of the week, but I just can't bring myself to drop it. I think I'm having trouble dropping books that I know are ending, and I'm pretty sure this is ending. If I'm not, somebody correct me, but I'm pretty sure it's ending, because there's going to be Savage Wolverine. But if a book's ending shortly, I feel like I should just stick with it and get the rest of the issues. I don't know. But this book, he battles some guy named the Murderous Lion. I'm going to be honest, I didn't even remember this is the story arc that was going on. On the cover here, I still thought this was Remus, Romulus' sister. Just in a quick glance, I didn't really study it. But he's on some type of voyage. He was supposed to kill somebody named the Sleeping Maiden or something, the Dreaming Maiden, and he didn't. He hid her away. So then they're searching for her. They're at some place that kind of looks like Stargate. It looks like there's a bunch of Stargates around. And this guy named Murderous Lion fights them. And then he ends up, beating him. And then they have to go into this alternate universe to find Sleeping Maiden or Dreaming Maiden. It's found out that she's kept alive, and he doesn't understand why, because he thought the Covenant would have killed her, because that's what they wanted to do to begin with. And, I don't know. At the end, murderous robots, take out Wolvie and Elsa, who is, Elsa Bloodstone, the woman on the cover there. And I don't know. I don't really know where they're going with this. It's kind of everything that happens I'm expecting to happen, but I don't know. I hope it gets better. Extreme XMen number 5. Now, this book was extremely fun. It seems very low. I know it seems very low to think, but it's just because the rest of the books were, they were better, but it's not like this was a bad book. First of all, the cover's pretty awesome. It has Mayor Howlett on there. We're in the steampunk type Western alternative universe. As the Extreme X-Men storyline is, they're here to kill an alternate universe, Charles Xavier. And at the end of the last issue, we see Howlett, the man there, was captured and taken in by Xavier, and it's found out that this universe's Xavier doesn't influence people's minds, he just breaks them, so they're under his will then. If you're not following this, it's hard to explain because there's a lot of things that happen, but it makes a lot of sense when you're reading it. It's very well done. There's a few scenes in here that are great, and by the way, my love for Dazzler is just growing. I almost brought myself to pick up and read her, I have it, but I didn't read it yet, because I've just been fighting it. To read her original ongoing, her own, or it might have been a miniseries, I don't know, but I have it. It's from the 80s, I think, and I almost picked up the other day, and I was like, I can't do it. But anyway, there's some great scenes in here where the alternate universe Nightcrawler is just teleporting in and out with different parts of Colossus and ripping him to pieces. That's really fun. Howlett's brain fixes itself because of his healing factor after Xavier breaks it, so he just in time before his 9-year-old self can attack Xavier. His 9-year-old self attacks him because he steps in front of it, and then he himself kills Xavier and he tells his 9-year-old self to promise him that he won't kill dude who's 18. Yeah, see, it's very confusing for me to say it like that, but it makes a lot of sense when you're reading it. Incredible Hulk 15, last issue, and doesn't even fight a Doombot in here. This cover is awesome, but he doesn't even fight a Doombot. I don't know why they decided to go with this cover, but it was kind of interesting because the story arc was called United, I believe, and the beginning of the book, it's kind of Bruce and Hulk are both fighting separate battles. Bruce is in his own mind fighting the battle, and the Hulk is outside, being the Hulk, fighting hulked out animals. So, I mean, even though they were united, they weren't united because they were fighting different battles. But as this book goes on, they both kind of wear down, and they both kind of are losing their battles. And they both come to terms that they need to be the same person. They're kind of two halves of one whole. And that's what happens. They come to terms with each other, and Hulk actually goes into Banner's head and attacks... I can't remember his name right now, but it's the guy who's in a coma who can do things. I don't know, but he attacks him, beats him, and then Bruce, is back in his body. And for now, it looks like they're good. Looks like they're happy, and then it ends actually rather nicely with a little comedy in there. But I mean, I like the way this was wrapped up. I'm not super happy it's done, but it was kind of lacking towards the last couple story arcs, but pumped for the new Hulk series. Flash number 13, and I forgot how excited I was about this until I got this and saw the cover. I forgot, it seems like it's been so long since I've had a Flash book, and I completely forgot that it was Gorilla Grodd's back. And the story opens with Flash knocked out because the Rogues Gallery, actually they might just be going by the Rogues now, but they had kind of defeated him, and then the gorillas started coming down, Grodd's army, and then they wake him up and they kind of team up. It's kind of a temporary truce. They're making a temporary truce, so because it's their home too. So first things first is defend your home, and the second thing is personal, little things. But I mean, it was a great book. I mean, I've never been disappointed with any of these Flash books. They're very well done. Flash finds Grodd at the end, and I'm not sure. I mean, it might be a spoiler, or it might not even be true, but it kind of looks like he has like the Flash power. It looks like he's emitting some of the Flash energy. So I'm not sure. I mean, that might just be the way it was drawn, but I guess we'll see next issue. Superman number 13, the prequel, if you will, to the Hell on Earth storyline, which I'm super pumped about. And this book kind of has a few twists and turns. Some things that were ruined for me earlier from being on Comic Vine and whatnot, but Clark gets in an argument with his boss's boss, with Perry's boss, and actually ends up quitting. He kind of takes a stand on on a just foot or something. He tries to stand up on two just legs, which I kind of said to myself while I was reading, it made me laugh. And then he kind of gets fired / quits. And there's just out of nowhere, then a dragon just comes, just starts attacking things. And Superman goes to fight it, and he gets hit actually all the way to Ireland, which was pretty crazy. And then he has this new thing that he did. It was awesome. I love when Superman invents powers. He blows like hot air and cold air at the same time, creating an updraft to get the people out of there, and then blows a gust to set them down gently miles away. It was awesome. That's why I love Superman. But it's Supergirl shows up and tells him that it's actually an animal that was indigenous on Krypton, and Krypton's not dead. And as they're talking at the end of the issue, you see, I'd imagine his name's Hell. He's standing above them, kind of observing. So I mean, I'm super stoked for this storyline. I'm on Superman, I'm on Supergirl, and I hopped on Superboy just for the storyline. So we'll see how that goes. Fables 122. Yes, 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 yes. A Fables is back to what I wanted Fables to be. The last story arc, the Cubs in Toyland or whatever, I was not a fan of it. I mean, it was okay to read, but this is the kind of thing I want from a Fables book. I think it's only a 2-part storyline, but it's about the big bad wolf. And he's chasing this girl in this cloak through the woods, and she dives into this little hut. And as the big bad wolf tries to go in, he sees that it's like this big temple / something. He says it's sorcery, and that's kind of what it is. And it's found out that she actually tells fates. She can, she tells people's fates and makes a truce with the big bad wolf that if she tells him his fate, that he won't eat her. And she says, you'll die in 3 days. You'll get ripped apart by another creature. And he is just blown away by it, and he goes away, and just moping. Oh, excuse me. And then and then a turtle comes along with a teacup on his back. Awesome scene. And explains who this lady is. I guess this turtle has experienced this lady before, seen her before, and she not only tells you the fates, but she assigns you the fates, and she can also unassign you the fates. And that is when, that is when the book ends, saying that she can kind of control the destiny at a point. And I'm just excited to see what the Big Bad Wolf's going to do to, remedy that. Deadpool 63, the end of an era. The Daniel Way era is over. This is the final issue of Deadpool. And, it was a fun issue. It was a lot better than the last one, that's for sure. And there's also a fun letter in the back of this that says about how Daniel Way is ready to be a fan again. And he's pumped for Brian Posehn and... I always forget that other guy's name. Brian Posehn and Jerry Dugan. He's pumped for Brian Posehn and Jerry Dugan's run on Deadpool, and he said, "You have my attention, abuse it." And it was really good. But this was also wrapped up really well. And these past 4 books probably could all have been pick of the weeks because they were very good, but just books were outshining. Avengers 32. This book is phenomenal. I haven't said that about an Avengers book. I mean, they've been good, but this book is awesome. It introduced, new things. It did something new. They found the old Avenger, the Avenger that was calling out from the vintage Avenger card. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody, but they, upon finding... First off, though, they had to shrink to find her. What happened to Hank Pym from the 90s to now where he can shrink again? Because I remember he was having, structural integrity problems with his body where he couldn't shrink. I don't know, I was reading some 90s Avengers earlier, though, so that might be the reason that I'm even thinking about it. But anyway, I mean, they find it, and now they have to battle this new boss in the Microverse, kind of, that is, they have to beat him to get away. And he's, what is the name of it? I don't know, he's half man, half horse. I can't remember the name of it right now. But he looks pretty awesome, though. So, I mean, I'm excited to see that. And the pick of the week is Gambit Number 4. This book has been teetering on the edge for me of being good and being great, and this one knocked it out of the park. This is just a phenomenal book. If anybody's not reading this, this is good. I've heard some grumblings about, ineffective storytelling and whatnot. Well, this is taking a character and really exploring what he can do. For instance, he charges his own body in this and then jumps into the mouth of a giant 3-headed dragon, which is actually, I guess, some Guatemalan god that they used to worship. I mean, wow. At first of reading this Gambit book, I did not expect it to be like this. I expected it to be kind of like a day-to-day life of Gambit. But this has a huge feel. As I was reading this book, I just felt like these were giant feats going on. It encompassed it very well. The girl he's with, we learn her name. Her name is Joelle. She tells him because he saves her, and then she knocks him out, and that's it. That's the end of her. You don't see her anymore. And then he returns to the airport and sees a man waiting to pick him up in a car, and he said he should be suspicious, but he's not because he's tired. So he gets in the car, and it's Byron Sitch. It is the guy who he stole from. So, I can't wait for the next one. This book is killing it. I love this book. If you're not getting this book, I recommend getting it, at least checking out, a few issues. It's only on issue 4. You can pretty much pick it up from here. It's phenomenal. I thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, something, please. I like feedback. I like talking to people. So, I hope you guys enjoyed, and remember, have a great day.